Welcome to History in Minutes, where empires rise, kings write human rights, and no one had email but somehow still ran a global network. Today, we're heading east of Mesopotamia, west of India, and straight into the heart of one of the greatest empires ever, Ancient Persia, where roads were royal, kings were tolerant, mostly, and fashion absolutely majestic. Let's go, before Darius notices we're late. Our story begins around 550 BCE, when a man named Cyrus II, aka Cyrus the Great, decided he was tired of small kingdoms and wanted the whole map. But Cyrus wasn't just a conqueror with big dreams, he was actually reasonable. When he conquered Babylon, he didn't burn it to the ground. Instead, he freed the captives, including the Jews, and let everyone keep their customs, languages, and gods. He was so impressive that even the Bible gave him a thumbs up as Cyrus created the Achaemenid Empire, the first true world empire stretching from modern-day Turkey to Pakistan. That's roughly 3,000 miles of ancient real estate. The secret? Tolerance, clever administration, and not micromanaging every village. Long before Instagram debates and internet philosophers, Persia had a man named Zoroaster, or Zarathustra, around 1000 BC, maybe earlier, it's fuzzy. He preached a new idea, that life was a battle between good and evil, light and darkness. Enter Zoroastrianism with its one supreme god, Ahura Mazda, and the eternal flame symbolizing truth and purity. No idols. No complicated rituals. Just be good, tell the truth, and don't feed your demons after midnight. This religion influenced future faiths, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, especially with concepts like heaven and hell, final judgment, angels and demons, the cosmic struggle between good and evil. Not bad for a guy in a robe with a torch. After Cyrus and his son Cambyses, things got a little messy, so Darius I stepped in around 522 BC. Darius wasn't just a king, he was a logistics genius. He divided the empire into satrapies, provinces, each with its own local governor, created a standard currency, built the royal road, stretching over 1,500 miles, with rest stops, inns, and mounted messengers, ancient FedEx. You could send a message from one end of the empire to the other in a week. Meanwhile, in Europe, people were still yelling from hilltops. Oh, and he built Persepolis, a stone and column masterpiece that screamed, "I'm powerful, but I also like marble." Darius also carved his achievements into a mountain wall, the Behistun inscription, like an ancient LinkedIn profile, but in 3 languages. So what was it like to live in ancient Persia? Well, it depends who you were. If you were a satrap, you had a palace, servants, and a big tax spreadsheet. If you were a merchant, you probably spoke 3 languages and knew how to haggle with Greeks and Indians. If you were a farmer, you grew wheat, grapes, and paid taxes, often in kind, grain, animals, or wine. Not too bad, unless there was a drought. Persian society was diverse: Egyptians, Babylonians, Jews, Medes, Greeks, all living under one very large imperial umbrella. Roads were well maintained, trade was booming, and people loved perfume, jewelry, and patterned robes. If TikTok existed, Persians would have invented luxury haul videos. Let's talk style. Persian art was refined, detailed, and big on symmetry. Walls in Persepolis were carved with rows of nobles, guards, and tribute bearers, each in their traditional outfits, shown with care and respect. They loved gardens, so much so that the word paradise comes from Persian paradisa, meaning walled garden. Architecture blended Mesopotamian, Egyptian, and their own innovations: tall columns, massive halls, and intricate reliefs. And feasts? Oh, they feasted, with hundreds of dishes, goblets of wine, and music from across the empire. Think ancient Michelin star palace party, but with gold plates. Eventually, Darius and his son Xerxes had to deal with some very noisy neighbors, the Greeks. Cue the Greco-Persian Wars, Battle of Marathon, 490 BCE. The Persians lose to a bunch of lightly dressed runners. Battle of Thermopylae, 480 BCE. 300 Spartans versus thousands of Persians. Spoiler, the Spartans lose, but get all the movies. Battle of Salamis. Persian navy gets outmaneuvered by Greek boats in a narrow strait. These wars didn't destroy Persia, but they gave the Greeks some serious bragging rights, especially once Alexander the Great showed up in the 330s BC. Alexander conquered Persia, burned parts of Persepolis, rude, and ended the Achaemenid Empire. But Persia didn't disappear. Their governing system, religious ideas, road networks, and multiculturalism lived on. Even Alexander kept Persian customs and wives, he respected the empire he just conquered. Later empires, Parthians, Sassanids, Islamic caliphates, built on what Persia began, and many Zoroastrians still practice today, mostly in Iran and India, the Parsis. Oh, and their idea of tolerant empire? It influenced future powers from Rome to modern democracies. So that was ancient Persia, where tolerance met power, fire met faith, and everyone dressed fabulously. If you enjoyed this 10-minute scroll through 1,000 years of Persian brilliance, leave a like, subscribe, and let us know, should we visit ancient Peru next? Or ancient Japan? Until then, may your road be royal, your fire eternal, and your history short and sweet.